Oh, hello there. I'm Bilchan.
I'm Nimakung.
I'm Banchan.
In this class, I'll read to all of you. Chapter 10, Section 1 of A Tale of Two Cities, Book the Second, Golden Thread.
As.
Ah.
A Tale of Two Cities, Book the Second, Golden Thread. Charles Dickens. Chapter 10, Section 1. Moments. To the number of 12. Had come and gone. And Monsieur was conversant with French literature. In this age, he would have been a professor. In that age, he was a tutor of a living tongue spoken all over the world, and he cultivated a taste for his stores of knowledge and fancy. He could write of them, besides, in sound English, and render them into sound English. Such masters were not at that time easily found. Princes that had been, and kings that were to be, were not yet of the teacher class, and nowhere in nobility had dropped out of Tolson's ledgers to turn cooks and carpenters. As a tutor, whose attainments made the student's way unusually pleasant and profitable, and as an elegant translator who brought something to his work besides mere dictionary knowledge. Being Muster, Journey soon became known and encouraged. He was well acquainted, moreover, with the circumstances of his country, and those were of ever-growing interest. So, with great perseverance and untiring industry, he prospered. In London, he had expected neither to walk on pavements of gold, nor to lie on beds of roses. If he had had any such exalted expectation, he would not have prospered. He had expected labour, and he found it, and did it and made the best of it. And this, his prosperity consisted. A certain portion of his time was passed at Cambridge, trade in European languages, instead of conveying Greek and Latin through the custom house. The rest of his time he passed in London. And from the days when it was always summer in Eden, to these days when it is mostly winter in Finland latitudes. Love of a woman. He had loved Lucy Manette from the hour of his danger. Compassionate voice. He had never seen a face so tenderly beautiful. That had been big for him. But he had not yet spoken to her on the subject. The assassination at the deserted chateau far away beyond the heaving water and the lawn. Been done a year, and he had never yet, by so much as a single spoken word, disclosed to her the state of his heart. That he had his reasons for this, he knew full well. It was again a summer day went. Lately arrived in London from his college occupation, he turned into the quiet corner in Soho, bent on seeking an opportunity of opening his mind to Dr. Manette. It was the close of the summer day, and he knew Lucy to be out with Miss Perce. He found the doctor reading in his armchair at a window. Sharpness had been gradually restored to him. He was now a very energetic man indeed, with great firmness of purpose, strength of resolution, and vigour of action. In his recovered energy, he was sometimes a little fitful and sudden, as he had at first been in the exercise of his other recovered faculties. But this had never been frequently observable, and had grown more and more rare. He studied much, slept little, sustained a great deal of fatigue with ease, and was equably cheerful. To him, now under Charles Darnay, a sight of whom he laid aside his book and held out his hand. Charles Darnay, I rejoice to see you. We have been counting on your return these 3 or 4 days past. Mr. Stryver and Sidney Carton were both here yesterday. I am obliged to them for their interest in the matter, he answered, a little coldly as to them, though very warmly as to the doctor. Is well, said the doctor, as he stopped short, and your return will delight us all. She is going out on some household matters. Dr. Manette. I knew she was from home. I took the opportunity of her being from home. There was a blank silence. Yes, said the doctor, with evident constraint. Bring your chair here. He complied as to the chair, but appeared to find the speaking on less easy. I have had the happiness, Dr. Manette, of being so intimate here, so he at length began. For some year and a half, he was stayed by the doctor's putting out his hand to stop him, when he had kept it so a little while. He said, drawing it back, it is hard for me to speak of her at any time. Yours. It is a tone of fervent admiration, true homage, and deep love. Dr. Manette, he said deferentially. There was another blank silence before her father rejoined. I believe it. I do you justice. His constraint was so manifest, and it was so manifest, too, that it originated in an unwillingness to approach the subject. That Charles Darnay hesitated. Shall I go on? Another blank. Yes. You anticipate what I would say, though you cannot know how earnestly I say it, how earnestly I feel it, without knowing my secret heart, and the hopes and fears and anxieties with which it has long been laden. Dear Dr. Manette, I love your daughter fondly, dearly, disinterestedly, devotedly. If ever there were love in the world, I love her. You have loved yourself. The doctor sat with his face turned away, and his eyes bent on the ground. At the last words, he stretched out his hand again, hurriedly, and cried, not loud, Sir, let that be. I do you. His cry was so like a cry of actual pain that it rang in Charles Darnay's ears long after he had ceased. He motioned with the hand he had extended, and it seemed to be an appeal to Darnay to pause. The latter so received it, and remained silent. I ask your pardon, said the doctor, in a subdued tone. After some moments, I do not doubt your loving Lucy. He turned towards him in his chair, but did not look at him, or raise his eyes. His chin dropped upon his hand, and his white hair overshadowed his face, referred to your consideration for her father. He offered his hand, but his eyes did not go with it. "I know," said Darnay, respectfully. "How can I fail to know?" Dr. Manette, "I have seen you together from day to day. That between you and Miss Manette there is an affection so unusual, so touching, so belonging to the circumstances in which it has been nurtured, that it can have few parallels, even in the tenderness between a father and child. I know, Dr. Manette, and how can I fail to know that? Mingled with the affection and duty of a daughter who has become a woman, there is, in her heart, towards you, all the love and reliance of infancy itself. I know that, as in her childhood she had no parent, present years and character, to her, beyond this life, you could hardly be invested, in her sight, with a more sacred character than that in which you are always with her. I know that when she is clinging to you, the hands of baby, to be continued.